Whether you're trying to escape the summer heat or maximize your riding in those ever so short winter days, mountain bike riding at night is a great way to spice up your mountain biking experience and ultimately cram in more trail time, because who doesn't like riding their bike more? However, the main issue that arises when contemplating riding at night is safety, because riding at night can pose a new set of difficulties. So today we're going to be testing out a bunch of lights from Magic Shine and show you the best ways to mount them, and then also take the lights through a series of tests on the trail. Hey everyone, Phil from Bikes Online here, and welcome to the Worth It series, where I test out different bike products and let you know if they're worth it. So let's start off talking a little bit about night riding and what you're going to need to get yourself started. So when it comes to riding a mountain bike at night, I recommend getting two different lights. So the main reason why we recommend getting two different lights is that wider floodlight is going to provide you with a lot of light that's going to light up a big visible area, and this will provide you with most of your visibility. And then on the other hand, that more spotlight that's going to be on your head, so on your helmet, that's going to point light in the direction that you're looking at. So that's going to really light up that area, say around the corner or over a crest of where you're about to be going. And when you're looking down over rocks and roots, this is also going to reduce the amount of shadows as well, so it'll help your depth perception a little bit too. But that's one of the main challenges when riding at night. Those shadows that rocks and stuff like that can cast can catch you out every now and then. So how powerful do these lights need to be? Well, we recommend around about 1,000 lumens for each of the lights. So lumens is essentially the measure of how bright the light is. However, when it comes to your floodlight that's going to provide you with most of your light, I recommend getting a little bit more powerful. And also because this light's spread over a wider distance, it can dissipate a bit more, so a little bit extra power here is definitely recommended. So now that we've covered what you're going to need, let's look at the lights themselves. So first up, we have the light that I'll be running on my helmet, and that's the Magic Shine Ulti 1000 for approximately around about $120 depending on where you are in the world. So looking at the build quality is really good. It's got that matte aluminium finish and a bit of a sucker for, and then it's got some really more premium plastic feeling stuff like this on the bottom. So also looks like there we've got the Garmin mount too, so that's really cool. And better yet, it's waterproof too, so IPX7, so I believe that's waterproof to around about 1 meter for 30 minutes. So with this light, Ulti 1000, you guessed it, you get 1,000 lumens. So after using the light for a little bit, I'll show you the settings. So hold it down to turn it on, 2 seconds. So looking at the light, you've got 6 main settings. So you've got the daytime running light, then you cycle through with 1 click. So 1 click, that gives you low power, so that's around 25%. Then you've got another click, which is going to be around 50% power, and then 1 more click, which is your 100%. Then back to the daylight, and then if you want to double tap, you get the flashing, and then another flash again, and then hold it down to turn it off. So the beam is around about 21 degrees, so it's going to definitely be more of a spot lamp instead of that more floodlight that the handlebar light's going to be. So talking about battery life, in this light you've got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which for this size and form factor is pretty good. But on that full blast setting, you're going to get around about 1.8 hours, so we're going to test that out when we get on the trail. The power button there, it also shows the battery life. So green, that's going to be when you've got around about 100 to 30% battery life. Less than 30%, you're going to get a red light. So, and then once you get to under 10%, it's going to be flashing red. And then if we're looking at charging time, so we do have micro USB charger here. So it would be nice to see USB-C, everything's going that way these days, but micro USB, and to get a full charge, it's going to take around about 5 hours. So looking at the mount, so as I said, it uses that Garmin system. And then you got the strap here. You also get 3 different size straps and a replacement one, so that's going to be really good. Going to fit all your aero bars, mountain bike bars. You also get an Allen key as well, so that's going to be the way that it fastens to the bar. And it's also got a little bit of rubber on each of the straps, so that's going to protect your carbon, your alloy bars. And then, as I said earlier, you've got that micro USB charging there, so you get a cable with it too. And then along with this light, I also got the helmet kit separately. It also tilts, and then that comes with the straps too that you can mount it on your helmet too. So now for the moment of truth, we're going to weigh it as well. So the light itself is 131 grams. So let's move on to the big boy now. And that's the Magic Shine Montier, if I'm pronouncing that right, 3500. So depending on where you are in the world, the light's going to set you back around about $250 to $300. Build quality is really, really nice. So where there is plastic, it's nice and premium plastic. And then you've got that aluminium construction as well. And then you've also got heat sinks as well along the side here. So it's good to see that they've put some time into the heat management. So taking a closer look at the LED lights themselves, you've got 5 lights. So there's 3 at the top. They're going to be a floodlights, and they've got a beam of 31 degrees. And then the total output of those, the max is 1800, so 1800 lumens there. And then down the bottom, you've got your spotlights, so they're going to be that 21 degrees like the Ulti. And then these have a total output of 1400 lumens. So as you can imagine with this output, so you got 3400, 3500 lumens, you're going to need a decent battery as well. So taking a look at the battery a little bit closer, form factor, not too big, kind of there's your hand for comparison. This is also included in the kit when you purchase it. It mounts to your top tube, so you can see the straps go through there, and then you get the straps as well. So nice little wavy there, it's going to help a little bit of grip on the bike. But you also got a really nice rubber protector here. So this is going to keep your bike nice and safe, carbon alloy, not going to scratch it. And as I said, really premium, nice and soft. So in terms of the power, it's 5200 lumens, and then also can double as a charger as well. So if you need to charge your phone or anything like that, you can do that too. And just like the Ulti as well, on the hand here you can see as well, it's going to use micro USB as well. And then you can also check the battery life in here as well. Being on the bars, it's nice to have this on the top tube and on your bars so it's not affecting your steering. So we'll check the weights of everything quickly. So looking at the weight, the battery, it is 259 grams, and then with the cable that connects at the other end, you're looking at 282. Taking a look at the light itself, you're looking at 110 grams, which is, 110? Yeah, 110 grams. So altogether, that's a pretty reasonable weight. So now we'll connect it all up and then check out the settings. So clips in there, nice and secure. Into here, just make sure it pushes in all the way and connects up. So turning on the light now, so you've got three main settings. So you've got that floodlight setting, you've got the spotlight setting, and then you've got the combo setting that's going to give you that max output of around about 3500 lumens. So to cycle through those three main settings, you're going to double click. So on the flood now, and then double click again, we're on the full setting here. So from there, you just single click to cycle through all the settings. So you've got an eco, low, mid, high, and then you've got a flash setting as well. So in terms of the battery life that you're going to get with all the settings, I'll put up the chart again. But in that combo setting with the max output, so on high, with you're going to get around about 1.42 hours on that one there. So again, we're going to test that out. So it's pretty similar with the Ulti, kind of that 1.5 to 2 hour mark. We'll see if we can crack that. So let's take a look at what you get with it. So as I said, Garmin mount again. So it's good to see that. Then you've got that bar mount as well. And then you've got those replacement straps too. Mounting straps for the battery on your frame. And then you've got the charging cable as well. And then you also get that Allen key too. So other things, IP65 weather resistant, so it's going to be okay with the rain and dust and that kind of stuff like that. And then a full charge is around about 9 hours as well. So enough of the boring specs, let's get out on the trail and do some tests. So back home now after the ride, and I actually genuinely really enjoyed myself. But I did notice a few things about the lights and the experience on the trail. So the first one, wildlife. There was wildlife everywhere. Saw 2 wallabies. I didn't see not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 tawny frogmouths, which was absolutely awesome. Part of mountain biking is being out in nature and seeing what it has to offer, and seeing wildlife is absolutely awesome. The next one, I would strongly recommend riding trails at night that you're used to riding a fair bit. Even with that dual light setup, you'll notice that your depth perception isn't the best at night, and approaching crests, you'll see that shadow on the other side, rocks, roots. It's really hard to gauge this sometimes. Often as well, you'll see random offshoots on the trail and you might think that's the actual trail as well. So if you didn't know the actual trail, you might actually go down that and it might lead you down a dead end or something a bit sketchy. So with that being said, I'd probably stick to more XC and lighter trail stuff, so these kind of blue and green style trails. And also riding at night, it makes these trails a little bit more challenging. So if you're finding you're outgrowing your local trail loop and XC stuff, it might be a good idea to go back to something like this and you'll find them fun again. And for these kind of trails, I think the lights were more than powerful enough. But as I said, if you're doing stuff that you haven't ridden before or some more gnarly stuff, I would probably go even more powerful in terms of lumens. But the good thing about that with the Magic Shine lineup, there's even an 8,000 lumen light as well. So bright a light as possible is never going to hurt. And the next thing that I noticed experimenting with the headlamp on my current helmet here, it's probably a little bit too far back. I would probably recommend having it maybe a little bit more forward, because I did notice the night visor was casting a little bit of a shadow in some sections. So that's something to note as well, but it's going to take a little bit of trial and error getting that angle dialed. And then another thing when it comes to the helmet as well, make sure the straps, when you're running them through the helmet, they go under the MIPS and not over it, because if it's going over it, your MIPS isn't going to rotate and that kind of stuff. So that's something to note as well. But the main thing you probably want to know is the battery life, and I rode for around about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, and the batteries were still above 30%, so they hadn't started going red yet, which was really impressive. So I think you're probably going to get a little bit more battery life than they indicate. So would I recommend the lights? Absolutely. For these kind of trails, this setup was perfect. So say that 1,000 on the helmet and that 3,500 on the bars. I think it's an absolutely dialed setup. And then when it comes to everything else with the lights, the mounts, they performed really well. They protected the frame and they didn't move, which is what you want. And then also the lights didn't overheat at all. In fact, the Ulti barely even got warm at all. So would I recommend night riding? Absolutely, I definitely think it's worth it. It's a great way to spice up your local trails, try something new, and also maximize your time on the trails. And it's a new adventure, as I said, got to see some wildlife, which was pretty cool. I normally wouldn't have seen that. So if you are looking to get into night riding, I definitely think those Magic Shine lights are a great option, and I'll leave links to all those in the description as well. But as always, everyone, thanks for watching. See ya.